Okay. Good afternoon, dear Excellencies, honorable speakers, distinguished guests, and esteemed observers of the event on Facebook and other platforms. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to today's roundtable dedicated to 29th anniversary of independence of Uzbekistan, development strategy of renewed Uzbekistan. Before we talk about the event, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the leadership of the Tillotoma Foundation, particularly to Mr. Soham Das for the initiative in organizing this event. And special thanks, of course, to Professor Sanjay Pandey, Director, Russian and Central Asian Area Studies Program, Jawaharlal Nehru University, Ms. Jannat Rahimova, young researcher at the National University of Uzbekistan, Mr. Pravesh Gupta, Research Associate, Central Asia, Vivekananda International Foundation, Mr. Manish Mohan, Regional Director, International Confederation of Indian Industry, and Mr. Ashok Daryani, President, International Relations, Sharda University, for sparing their valuable time to share our opinions in this event. I'm glad that today, on the eve of the celebrations of the independence of Uzbekistan, we have a good opportunity to hear the opinions, thoughts and visions of the distinguished speakers on new measures and initiatives being taken for further development of our country. I believe that all our talks, discussions and joint events like this will serve to advancing the friendly ties between our countries, which in fact pave the way for the well-being and prosperous life of our people. I'm confident that today's event will be good source of information for the people who are keen to learn about development strategy of a renewed Uzbekistan and perspectives of Uzbekistan-India relationship. Given the importance of the topics that will be discussed today, I once again welcome all of you to this informative event. Thank you very much.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, colleagues and friends, Salom. I warmly welcome all of you to this roundtable discussion on the 29th anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Uzbekistan, jointly organized by the Embassy of Uzbekistan in India and Tillotoma Foundation. I must thank sincerely His Excellency, the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Uzbekistan to India, Mr. Dilshad Akatov, for his welcome address and also for being with us here today. And of course, the Embassy of Uzbekistan for all their help. We hope to gain a lot of interesting insights, in-depth analysis and understanding of the development strategy of a renewed Uzbekistan. Today's sub-theme is this: development strategy of a renewed Uzbekistan during the course of today's event. Tillotoma Foundation works globally on areas of international relations, policy and diplomacy. We are committed to our strong partnership with the Embassy of Uzbekistan in India. I also again thank His Excellency for all his help. I hope this event will further boost the India-Uzbekistan relationship. Today we will hear from experts, stakeholders and analysts from both Uzbekistan and India. We shall also experience rich cultural performances from Uzbekistan and India. I wish this event great success.
Okay. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Gauri Shankar Gupta, former Indian Ambassador and High Commissioner. Your Excellency, let me congratulate you on the 29th independence anniversary of Uzbekistan, a country with whom we share very deep and historic relations. There are civilizational relations going back to almost 5,000 years in time. And this is a great pleasure for all of us to felicitate you on this occasion and to the citizens of your country. And I'm also thankful to Tillotoma Foundation for organizing this event. They have been very dynamic and they are doing a great job. Mr. Sohan Das and Pulomi Bhattacharya both have been very, very active and working very hard. So now I would like to invite Professor Sanjay Pandey from Jawaharlal Nehru University to make his remarks.
Sorry, Dr. Gupta, according to the program, there is a separate Excellency's remark.
Yes.
Sorry for
interrupting. Okay. I'm sorry, I thought, sorry.
No, it was
so I'd like to then, let me introduce Mr. Dilshad Akhatov. He was the ambassador of Uzbekistan to Germany, to Spain, to Switzerland, and to Sweden. And he was also the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs in the capital. He has vast experience in the diplomatic field, and we are delighted to have him here on this very, very special occasion. So I would like to invite His Excellency Mr. Dilshad Akhatov to make his opening remarks.
Thank you very much. Dear friends, it was on August 31, 1991, the people of Uzbekistan gained the long-awaited independence of the country when the Supreme Council of Uzbekistan adopted a resolution on the declaration of the independence of the Republic of Uzbekistan and the law of the state independence on Uzbekistan. The next day, 1st September, is declared as a national holiday, Independence Day. Since then, the essence of the life of our people has completely changed, and a new page has been opened in the history of the Republic of Uzbekistan. Within a fairly brief historical period, Uzbekistan has passed difficult and at the same time glorious path of independence development. Currently, Uzbekistan has successfully entered a new stage. It is in its development in the process of modernization of the country, ensuring human rights and freedoms, the rule of law, and new democratic face of Uzbekistan is emerging. The guiding force for us on this road is a priority idea from national revival to national progress, embedded in the actions strategy of Uzbekistan 2017-2021. This comprehensive document was adopted by the initiative of the President of Republic of Uzbekistan, His Excellency Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev. In recent years, extensive efforts have been undertaken to improve public administration and the judicial system, bolster the country's defense power, and switch to a market economy. The public administration system has become transparent and it is constantly being improved. The development of society is becoming more and more innovative. 2020 in Uzbekistan has been declared the year of development of science, education, and the digital economy. Based on this, wide opportunities are created for the development of entrepreneurship and private property. Macroeconomic stability is being provided for. A unique system of social development is being created in our country, actively participating in the implementation of programs like Obod Shloch, Flourishing Village, and Obod Mahalla, Flourishing Neighborhood. Youth are our future 5 initiatives special for youth and for women. Our people begin to think and work in a new way. Thanks to this, the appearance of hundreds of districts, towns, and villages is radically changing. The parliamentary elections held in Uzbekistan last year and had vividly demonstrated that irreversible changes have taken place in Uzbek society. The political activity of the population and political parties has increased. The role of civil society and the media has sharply increased as well as. You are also well aware of the great positive change in the fields of science, education, enlightenment, healthcare, culture, and sports. Today, the sphere of higher education is dynamically developing in our country. Now we can see thousands of highly educated people who have studied at the best foreign universities, who speaks foreign language and command modern methods of managing young people in the country. Therefore, the focus of attention of the state and society is continuing to be issues of providing young people with extensive opportunities, meeting their needs and interests, realizing their abilities and talent, as well as helping them their place in life, find the place in life. Government's focus is on boosting the material and technical base and human resources of the healthcare sector. A lot of new medical institutions, family clinics, medical centers, including private ones, are being created across the country. In recent years, social protection of low-income families, persons with disabilities, youth, women, and the elderly has become a priority direction of the government policy. For this purpose, the Medical and Social Services Agency and Foundation for the support for persons with disabilities were set up. Uzbekistan has been steadfast in its policy to ensure human rights and freedoms, and it's receiving recognition from the world community. For example, recently on August 12 and 13 this year, held Samarkand Human Rights Web Forum on the subject of Youth 2020, Global Solidarity, Sustainable Development and Human Rights, is compelling evidence of the initiatives taken by the government of Uzbekistan in protecting the rights of the people. This important step indicates that ensuring human rights and freedoms in our country is not a temporary campaign, but a consistent government policy. Dear participants, today we all witnessing the coronavirus pandemic, a global disaster that has no precedent in the last 100 years of our common history. The pandemic is once again showing the vulnerability of mankind. Never before billions of people been isolated and forced to sit at home. The borders of states have not been closed, and the entire world economy has not gone into the red. In accordance with various scenarios, the world economy will shrink by 5–8% in 2020. This is the sharpest contraction since the Great Depression of the 1930s. Of course, these processes don't bypass our country either. Since March, Uzbekistan has seen a significant decline in economic activity due to a drop in domestic and foreign demand. The main factor behind the slowdown in economic growth is the decline in investment and consumer activity due to the suspension of work in some sectors of economy. To mitigate the impact of the pandemic on the national economy and support private sector, with the initiative of the President, His Excellency Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev, a comprehensive anti-crisis measures have been developed and are being implemented in Uzbekistan. First, an anti-crisis fund with $1 billion has been established to provide financial support to small and medium businesses, including exporters. Second, entrepreneurs are provided with tax and credit holidays. Many taxes and import duties have been reduced. Third, the government working group, special working group, is established in order to provide targeted and field level support to private sectors. Fourth, a special situation center has been established under the Ministry of Investment and Foreign Trade in order to solve existing of exporting companies. And fifth, to ensure timely launch of investment projects in Uzbekistan, charter flights were organized to bring foreign specialists and equipment into the country. Exporters are provided with assistance in delivery to the goods to external markets. The leadership of Uzbekistan has identified top priorities for the social economic development, including eradication of poverty through targeted social protection and creation of the new jobs in rural areas of the country, identifying new drivers for economic growth based on deep analysis of advantages of each province with focus on least developed areas, attracting funds from the local population and Uzbek expats abroad as alternative investments in the economy of our country. Generally, over the years of reforms, the economy of Uzbekistan has grown by 20% in order to increase the potential of the regions. 143 small industrial zones have been created, as well as 21 free economic zones of industrial, agriculture, tourist, transport, and logistic areas. The country's investment attractiveness has increased. The volume of investments over the last 3 years have more than doubled. In the final annual Doing Business 2020 ranking, Uzbekistan entered the top 20 countries that showed the greatest progress in improving the business climate. Thanks to the implementation of entrepreneurship support programs, hundreds of thousands of small and medium-sized businesses have opened their own businesses. They create 60% of the gross domestic product of Uzbekistan. Dear friends, taking the opportunity, let me brief you on foreign policy of Uzbekistan and current developments of Uzbek-India relations. Uzbekistan is currently pursuing active and fruitful foreign policy. Our cooperation with countries, with all countries abroad and international organizations is becoming increasingly strengthened and expanded. First of all, good neighborly relations were established with the nations of Central Asia. Mutually advantageous bonds are being consolidated. Everything has been created so that thousands of ordinary citizens can freely pass through checkpoints at the borders, calmly move around the region and visit relatives. Uzbekistan is actively involved in implementing measures to ensure regional security, including the organization of dialogue with a view to establishing peace in Afghanistan, in our neighbor country. All of these contribute to the growth of our country's international authority and the number of friends and partners. Among all foreign partner states, India traditionally occupies a special place in our country's foreign policy. The Uzbek-India strategic partnership is seeing its dynamic and firm rise. As an ancient India proverb, "Dost paida hote hai, banai nahi yate." Friends are born, not made, says. Uzbek-Indian friendship has long-rooted history, I would like undertaken. This is testified by high intensity of bilateral official contacts, including the state visit of the president of Uzbekistan to India in October 2018 and his participation at the vibrant Gujarat Conference, International Investment Conference in January 2019. And high-level discussions during those visits led to signing of 20 agreements covering the areas of national security, military, education, science and technology, health, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, and etc. Nowadays, about 20 more documents are being prepared for signing, given the growing economic and the technological potential of Uzbekistan in India. I'm happy to note that we have a very active mutual exchange between Uzbekistan and India at all levels, at which the new formats and mechanisms of cooperation ties are put in place. We have been successfully developing cooperation between foreign policy institutions of our countries and dialogue on international problems, including within the framework of the United Nations and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The tendencies of strengthening regional cooperation in Central Asia are opening up unprecedented opportunities for multifaceted deepening of interactions of countries of the region with India. Establishment of the ministerial dialogue India-Central Asia, with participation of Afghanistan, the first session in which took place in January 2019 in Samarkand, became a notable event. In fact, a new page was opened up in the relations of India with the states of our region. The joint declaration adopted on its outcomes confirmed the commitment to the countries of Central Asia and India to promote comprehensive and mutually beneficial cooperation. We are interested in maximum realization of the available enormous potential of partnership between India and the countries of Central Asia. In particular, Uzbekistan and other countries of the region may turn into an important direction for India capital exports to mutually beneficial projects in such spheres as energy, medical and pharmaceutical, textile industry, information and communication technologies, agriculture, banking, financial, etc. It's known that it is important for India to enter the markets of Uzbekistan and other countries of Central Asia, and we in turn are interested in expanding our own exports opportunities, gaining access to the new foreign markets. Without this, no region or country can develop normally in the modern world. It becomes especially significant to put in place one transport transit system which would connect India with the countries of Central Asia through Afghanistan. In a step to enhance economic engagement and further boost bilateral relations between Uzbekistan and India, the first meeting of the National Coordination Committees was held a couple of days ago in an online format. The objective of the committees was to monitor the implementation of joint projects agreed between two countries. The meeting was co-chaired by Mr. Sardar Umurzaev, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Investment and Foreign Trade of Uzbekistan, and Mr. Muralidharan, Minister of State for External Affairs of India. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your very educative presentation. The great program of development within your country, in the region, and also with India are very, very, great reports. We cherish those relations with your country, and I'm happy that you have initiated India Central Asia dialogue, which will certainly lead to better understanding between India and countries of Central Asia and of course Uzbekistan.
Thank you.
Now I would like to request Mr. Sohan Das, Director, Tillotoma Foundation, to make his presentation.
Excellencies, we are here at this roundtable discussion on the 29th anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Uzbekistan, development strategy of a renewed Uzbekistan, to discuss the incredible journey of growth and development of the Republic of Uzbekistan for these 29 years since its independence in 1991. Every year, the Republic of Uzbekistan celebrates its Independence Day on the 1st of September, and it got its independence in August 31st, 1991. India has strong civilizational and cultural ties with Uzbekistan. There is a strategic partnership between India and Uzbekistan. In August 1991, President Islam Karimov, the first president of Republic of Uzbekistan, was already in a visit to India in his then capacity as the chairman of Uzbek SSR. On 18th March 1992, the Consulate General of Tashkent was upgraded to the level of embassy through the signing of a protocol on diplomatic and consular matters. Since the independence of Uzbekistan, 3 Indian prime ministers have made state visits to Uzbekistan. Prime Minister Narasimha Rao in 1993, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh in 2006, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi in July 2015. President Islam Karimov, the first president of Uzbekistan, made official visits to India in 1991, 1994, 2000, 2005, and in 2011. Now we know that in June 2017, India became a member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, of which Republic of Uzbekistan is a founding member. This has opened further scope for collaboration between the two countries. This has given more multilateral platforms on which the two countries can engage. Especially the anti-terrorism forums of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the RATS, which is headquartered in Tashkent, are good forums for collaboration between India and Uzbekistan on counter-terrorism activities. His Excellency President Shavkat Mirziyoyev, the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, made his first state visit to India from 30th September to 1st October 2018. This was an extremely productive visit where diverse issues were discussed and 17 agreements were signed between two nations. In the joint statement at this visit, both the sides pledged to give the bilateral cooperation a multifaceted and long-term character. The two sides agreed to promote the establishment of a long-term and mutually beneficial cooperation among interested companies and business communities and support the activities of existing enterprises of Uzbekistan and India in territories of both countries. The two sides also agreed to work closely together to expand and diversify bilateral trade. The two sides agreed to expand cooperation in the sectors of information technology, health, pharmaceuticals, medical education, renewable energy, science and technology, and space and nuclear energy. In their commitment towards food and nutrition security for the people of India and Uzbekistan, the two sides agreed to enhance cooperation in the agricultural sector and have technology sharing in the activities of crop production, improved water use efficiency, plant quarantine, animal husbandry, food processing, and enhanced agricultural and food trade. The two states in the joint statement recognized tourism as an important area of bilateral cooperation that promoted people-to-people contacts and agreed to implement practical measures under the framework of the bilateral agreement on cooperation in tourism that was signed during the visit. The two sides recognized the uniqueness of the common cultural and civilizational heritage, including priceless manuscripts and other historical artifacts stored in the archival collections and museums of Uzbekistan and India. They supported the activation of bilateral efforts for their cataloging, comprehensive scientific study, and wide popularization through the implementation of joint research programs, projects, and other events. Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, announced a line of credit of $200 million to Uzbekistan for housing and social infrastructure projects at this meeting. The LOC agreement to this effect was signed between Mr. Shukrov Rastomovich Khulmodradov, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Uzbekistan, and Mr. David Raskinha, Managing Director of the Export-Import Bank of India, in January 2019. His Excellency President Shavkat Mirziyoyev visited India with a high-powered delegation in January 2019 to participate in the vibrant Gujarat Global Summit as the guest of honor. At the bilateral meeting between the Prime Minister of India and the President of Uzbekistan, at the sidelines of this event, an agreement was signed between the Department of Atomic Energy of India and the Novoy Minerals and Metallurgical Company of the Republic of Uzbekistan on a long-term supply of uranium ore concentrate for India's energy requirements. Lal Bahadur Shastri Center for Indian Culture, working under Indian Council for Cultural Relations, ICCR, was established in Tashkent in 1995. It organizes cultural events in Tashkent and other regions of Uzbekistan and also collaborates with other institutions. It screens Indian films and documentaries. The center organizes Hindi Munch on the last Friday of every month, which provides a platform to Uzbek nationals to interact and participate in various activities in Hindi. The center holds free regular classes in Hindi, Kathak, Tabla, and yoga, among other things. It also arranges visits of Indian cultural troops to Uzbekistan. It has remained an important center of Indian culture in Uzbekistan. Along with the cultural endeavors, the center also helps the youth of Uzbekistan with various scholarship programs offered by ICCR and the Government of India to pursue higher education in Indian educational institutions. Excellencies, Uzbekistan today is progressing with a renewed vigor and enthusiasm. The country is growing from strength to strength. It has become a favored destination for investors from India and other countries as well. Uzbekistan and India have formed the Uzbek-India Forum for Business and Entrepreneurship. A memorandum on the creation of the forum was recently signed between the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Uzbekistan and the Federation of Chambers of Commerce of India, FICCI. This is an important business-to-business forum for entrepreneurs from both the states to collaborate and know each other. The Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Uzbekistan to India, His Excellency Mr. Dilshad Akatov, has been making great efforts to further diversify and strengthen the bilateral cooperation, trade, and people-to-people connect. People-to-people connect is an important aspect of public diplomacy and bilateral cooperation between India and Uzbekistan. I sincerely hope that India and Uzbekistan reach greater heights together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sohan Das. You have made a very comprehensive presentation on our bilateral relations, covering economic ties, political relations, cultural relations, and of course, civilizational relations between the two countries. Thank you very much for that. Now, I would like to invite Professor Sanjay Pandey from the Jawaharlal Nehru University to make his remarks. Professor Sanjay Pandey. Yes, Professor Sanjay Pandey, you can start. We are not able to hear you. Please unmute your microphone.
It was maybe switched off by the center, by the
organizers.
by the organizers maybe.
Yeah, now
No, it is not off. His mic is on. We can see it on. It is on.
Yeah, now you can start, I suppose.
No, it is. He has technical issues. I think his audio is not connected. We have been having issues.
I think Mr. Das.
Yeah.
I think please tell him to remove the microphone.
I
think there is some problem with the microphone.
I think Professor Pandey, if you can hear me, can you remove the headphone? The headphone that you're using, please remove it. Disconnect it from the device itself, laptop itself. No, we cannot hear you now. Unfortunately, we cannot hear you now. You please disconnect the headphone from the laptop itself. Remove the jack. We are unable to hear you. Maybe you can leave the meeting and join again if you want. If that
yes. Okay, so should we proceed further? We can invite Professor Sanjay Pandey later on.
I think he is getting ready. Let's give him 30 seconds. Hello. No, you're not. Professor Gupta, Dr. Gupta, I think we can proceed and we can come back to
Yeah.
Professor Pandey later.
Okay. And I believe Miss Rakhimova Jannat is busy somewhere. So we will invite her little later. So let me invite Dr. Parvesh Gupta. Can you hear me, Dr. Parvesh Gupta?
Yes, sir. Very well.
Yeah, so I would like to invite you. He is a research associate at Vivekananda International Foundation, and we would like to listen to your views on our bilateral relations and of course, uh,
Okay. Thank you, sir. Very good evening to His Excellency Mr. Akato and to other distinguished panelists here. First of all, I would like to extend my warm wishes to the people of Uzbekistan on the 29th anniversary of the independence of Uzbekistan. And in my presentation, I will be highlighting on some significant aspects of Uzbekistan renewed foreign policy, which has undergone a total transformation under the pragmatic leadership of President Shaukat Mirziyoyev. The new foreign policy is formulated in a way that it would fully correspond to the 5 priority areas of the development of Republic of Uzbekistan, highlighted in the strategy of actions for 2017-2021. So the first and the most important aspect is the Central Asian region itself. Central Asia, the new president has rightly assessed the key geographical position of this Uzbekistan in the Central Asian region. Therefore, he gave special focus to this region as a foreign policy priority. This was reflected in his visits. He visited to the Central Asian countries for more than 10 times, almost 12 times in a year, and several rounds of bilateral meetings were held during these visits and on the sidelines of other various international summits. This has produced mutual trust and ended the long pending tensions between the Central Asian republics. In 2017, the trade turnover between Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan has increased by 30%. Similarly, Uzbekistan relations with Kyrgyzstan has also improved and are basically underlined by the delimitation of border, opening of border crossings, and attempts at solving the water dispute. In case of Uzbekistan's relation to Tajikistan, direct flight between Tashkent and Dushanbe was resumed after the lapse of more than 25 years. So, since as already mentioned by His Excellency Mr. Akato, since assuming power in December 2016, the President Mirziyoyev has garnered greater ambitions of getting all the Central Asian leaders on a single platform to discuss the issues of bilateral and regional importance. And his efforts to rechanneling the cooperation among these countries have become a success. For uh, for instance, the first consultative meeting of the heads of the all Central Asian republics was held in Nur Sultan, the capital city of Kazakhstan, on March 15, 2018. President of the 4 Central Asian countries, excluding Turkmenistan, participated in this meeting, and the Turkmen president of Majlis was also a participant in this meeting. The views exchanged by the leaders of the region was centered on developing cooperation in communication, trade, and economy, connectivity, and cultural and humanitarian aspects, which would be based on the mutual trust and interest, with particular emphasis on strengthening the security and stability in the region. Uh, in the same format, the second meeting was held in 2019 in Tashkent itself. A wide range of topics related to the regional development and ways to smoothen bilateral and multifaceted transactions were discussed. And subsequently, a variety of suggestions came out with the line of this discussion. This time, the president of Turkmenistan also participated in this meeting. And during his speech, President Shaukat Mirziyoyev has initiated. During his speech, President Shaukat Mirziyoyev has highlighted the importance of the regional cooperation to balance the ongoing great power approach to the region. He has initiated this policy of bringing republics together in their security, economic, and political affairs, so that the inter-regional issues would not become an obstacle in the regional development process. Uh, in his official statement, he comprehensively focused on inducting multiple joint economic projects, which would precisely benefit all the countries in the region. He stressed on capturing regional advantages when countries negotiate individual business, energy, transport, and tourism related projects. And secondly, the second aspect, another important aspect of renewed Uzbekistan's foreign policy is its approach towards Afghanistan. In the recent past, Uzbekistan has expanded bilateral ties with Afghanistan and actively engaged in multilateral efforts to resolve the Afghan problem. A railway line from Tabriz to Haratan carries wheat and flour and fuel, fertilizers, and consumer goods from Uzbekistan. This is one of the most important freight carriers to Afghanistan. Uzbekistan National Rail Company, Temir Gulari, constructed the 75 kilometers long Haratan Mazar Sharif railway. Uzbekistan also constructed several bridges and crossings on the road connecting Mazar Sharif and Kabul. Tashkent is one of the most significant supplier of electricity to Afghanistan. A power transmission line was laid in 2009 with the capacity of 150 megawatt to supply electricity to this capital city Kabul. It was then later increased to the 300 megawatt. In January 2017, President Mirzio appointed Uzbek representative to the Afghanistan, Mr. Ismatila Ergashev, and in November 2017, a direct passenger flight between Tashkent and Kabul was also started. President Ghani visited Uzbekistan in 2017, which was a landmark visit by any Afghan president. Along with his Uzbek counterparts, they conducted talks in narrow as well as extended format and signed a joint statement. More than 20 transit, security, electricity, and education. An agreement on construction of a railway line between Mazar Sharif and Haratan was also signed, and the construction of Surkhanpur Khumri power transmission line was with capacity of 500 kilometers was also discussed. Establishment of a joint commission on the security matters was also part of this meeting, and agreement on cooperation in the security of the Haratan Bridge. Along with that, Uzbek-Afghan trading houses set up in Kabul and Mazar Sharif and international logistic center in Tabriz was also agreed upon during this visit. The two countries have pledged for joint efforts to fight the challenges posed by the international terrorism and foreign fighters, extremism, transnational organized crime, illegal migration, illicit drug and trafficking of psychotropic substances. In March 2018, Tashkent initiated and hosted a high-level international conference on Afghanistan, peace process, security cooperation, and regional connectivity, which made an important contribution to the start of the peace process. And since then, Uzbekistan has been playing a proactive, a robust role in Afghan Uzbekistan's foreign policy aspect to the to its approach to the regional and the global power, which is very important for growth of Uzbekistan. Uh, Uzbekistan share strategic partnership with major powers such as Russia, China, US, India, Korea, and Japan. And since President Mirzio came to power, he highlighted to bring a faceted partnership with all of these countries. Another one major development in this regard was the relationship with the Republic of Turkey. During the President Karimov regime, Uzbekistan has had some tense relations with Turkey, which got improved with the new regime. And the comprehensive strengthening and development of Uzbek-Turkish relation is now fully consistent with the new foreign policy of Uzbekistan. Also, India's relationship, as already discussed thoroughly by Mr. Das, India's and Uzbekistan relation has also witnessed a boost in recent past. India had its first defense military exercise, Daslik 2019, with Uzbekistan. Along with that, India's investment in the business and education sector of Uzbekistan has also increased. Uh, Along with that, Uzbekistan relations with Egypt and other countries of the Middle East, such as Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, Bahrain, Jordan, and are reaching fundamentally to a new level. It should be noted that the development and strengthening of mutually beneficial and comprehensive relations with these states of the Middle East remains one of the priorities of Uzbekistan foreign policy. So these three components are a majorly impacted in the new Uzbekistan's foreign policy. And I think the way and the pace which is actually going on in the regional development and the regional construction of the Central Asia and Afghanistan as well. This is good sign for a greater partnership with Uzbekistan, as Uzbekistan is coming out as a regional leader in Central Asia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Parvesh Gupta. You have highlighted the increasing role of Uzbekistan in Central Asia as well as in Afghanistan, and of course in the larger international context. Thank you very much for your very learned presentation. Now I would like to invite, is Miss Jannat is there now? Can I invite you now?
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to Miss Rakhimov Jannat. Let me invite her for her presentation at this stage. Yes.
Dear colleagues, I am glad to welcome all conference participants to this conference. This year, Uzbekistan is celebrating its 29th anniversary of the country's independence. After gaining independence on 26 December 1991, India was among the first to recognize the independence of Republic of Uzbekistan. Diplomatic relations between two countries were established since March 18, 1992 year. Every person who came to India remembers Indian folk epic books. Fascinating stories about the country reflected it were sultans and palaces, Bollywood movies, funny songs and dances. This country has always attracted tourists with the ancient history, a rich culture, national traditions and customs with deep roots. President of Republic of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, has paid a state visit to India from 30 September to the 1st October 2018. Yeah. Since August 1997, regular inter-Middle political consultations have been held at the level of deputy foreign ministers. The last round of which was held of 23 March 2017 in Delhi, in accordance with the signed agreement on trade and economic cooperation between the countries. The most favored nation treatment in mutual trade has been established. From January to November in 2018, trade turnover between Uzbekistan and India was amounted to $2.5 billion. Currently, 161 enterprises with participants of Indian capital are operating in Uzbekistan, including 22 enterprises with 100% foreign capital. The Uzbek Indian Trading House has been operating in Delhi since 2017 year. The Uzbek Indian Center for Entrepreneurship Development was opened in Tashkent on 24 December 2018 year. In accordance with the agreement signed in 2004, Indian performance has been actively participating in the traditional international music festival Sharq Taronalara in Samarkand. The Jawaharlal Nehru India and Uzbek Center for Information Technologies is operating in Tashkent under the memorandum. Currently, the center is being transformed into the authorized institution of the Center for the Development of Advanced Computer Technologies in India. On 31 July 2017, with the assistance of the Embassy Uzbekistan in Delhi, a corner of Uzbek language and cultures was opened in one of the major universities in India, Jamia Millia Islamia University, where more than 20 Indian students study Uzbek. On 22 March 2018, the Indian Uzbek Friendship Society, New Delhi, resumed its work. During 2018, various cultural events related to Uzbekistan were held in India, such as the Festival of Uzbek Cinema in April in the cities of Delhi, Calcutta, and Mumbai, Days of Uzbek Culture in September, and the exhibition Uzbekistan India Dialogue of Cultures in September, October in the National Museum of India. On 28 September 2018, in Tashkent State Institute of Oriental Studies, the assistance of the Institute of History of the Academy of Sciences of Uzbekistan organized the seminar on Uzbek-Indian relations from the ancient times to the present day. Today, India is recognized as a country with not only ancient history and rich culture, but also huge political, economical, and scientific potential and great authority. India is the world's leading country in terms of GDP, industrial production, foreign trade, and other areas. The historical and cultural commonality between Uzbekistan and India, the bonds of friendship between our peoples, the cooperation based on principles of respect and confidence, which has one reason of the level of strategic partnership serve as a solid foundation in bilateral relations. I would like to separately note the President of Republic of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, has visited India twice in last 2 years. In particular, he paid state a visit there in October 2018 and January 2019, took part in the International Investment Summit Dynamic Gujarat 2019, whose visits took the strategic partnership relations with a friendly country to the world a new level. During the dialogues, specific agreements were reached in the many areas. Active work in now being done on implement them with a view of more effectively use of huge possibilities and potential with Uzbekistan and India possess. Our cooperation with India develops in political, trade, economic, investment, and technological spheres. Tourist industry in the field of higher education, science and innovation, public health service, cultural, inter-regional cooperation. The Minister of Innovative Development met with the Ambassador of India, complemented his mission in Uzbekistan. On 6 July 2020, the Minister of Innovative Development, Ibrahim Abdurrahmanov, received the Ambassador Extraordinary and Politary in India to Uzbekistan. Santos Ja on the occasion of the completion on his mission in Uzbekistan. During the reception, the ministry's work and Indian partners over the past period was discussed, in particular as part of the memorandum of understanding signed with the Minister of Science and Technologies of the Republic in India. The program of cooperation in the field of science, technology, and innovation for 2009 and 22 years between the Ministry of Innovation Development Republic of Uzbekistan and Ministry of Science and Technology of India was approved. Under this program, a competition was announced last November for Uzbek-Indian scientific and technical projects. 22 young scientists have been agreed to undertake short-term internships in India's leading higher education institutions. Partnership relations have been established with iCreate International Center for Entrepreneurship for Technologies and DevX, two of highest startup acceleration in India. The main purpose of the cooperation is to share best practice in the area of innovation and development of the startup ecosystem and improvement of human capital. To date, leading experts from these accelerators have held a number of lectures, seminars, and conferences for our country's startups. With the participation of this, Ideathon competition was organized. To date, Chandra Natha Sharma, CEO of Routine.com, and Venkatesh Kulkar, CEO Nav Bio Jains, have been appointed ambassadors for innovation in India. Close cooperation has been established with them in their respective areas. Although the work to be done in accordance with the roadmap has been temporarily postponed in the context of the global coronavirus pandemic, the meeting also discussed the possibility of discussing the prospects for Indian pharmaceutical companies to join the implemented antiviral research. But due to the quarantine restriction imposed this is the beginning of the pandemic, unfortunately, the volume of trade slightly decreased. Despite on tightening of quarantine measures today, we are trying to restore the volume of exports of the mentioned products and the established sales in new products. We have stepped up ties in the higher education. In 2020, a branch of Amity University was opened in Tashkent, and University of Sharjah was opened in Andijan. To date, work in this area is continuing. In June this year, negotiations were held between Bukhara State Medical Institute and the management LMCT University. During this, an agreement was reached to open a joint faculty in the initial stage of cooperation. Special attention is also paid in the implementation of joint projects, biotechnology and agro clusters, there's a textile, cosmetics, and other areas. As a part of India program of technical and economic cooperation is continuing on improving of qualifications of Uzbek specialists in India. In particular, in January-March of this year, teachers of higher education institutes in Namangan and Samarkand regions upgrade their qualification in English language courses in Hyderabad city. In short, Uzbekistan and India have great potential for the development of mutually beneficial cooperation in all spheres. Realization of existing opportunities, strangely of historical friendship between our peoples, promotion of coordinated action in the field of security, sustainable development on this basis of our activities and reflects our goals. Thank you for invitation, and I finish my speech.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rakimova Jannat. You have really done a very good research as a research scholar here, and we were pleased to hear your views on bilateral relations in all fields. So congratulations. And now I would like to invite Mr. Ashok Daryani, Director International Relations, Sarda University. And Mr. Ashok Daryani will narrate his personal experiences of doing business in Uzbekistan.
I would just like to know whether I am audible now.
Yes, you are audible and we will include you next.
All right, all right, all right.
Mr. Daryani, you have to put your audio. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste. Good evening. Salam alaikum. His Excellency Mr. Dilshad Akhatov, Ambassador of Uzbekistan to India, distinguished speakers, diplomats, and attendees. It's my great pleasure to be invited as a speaker in today's webinar. First of all, I would like to congratulate His Excellency and all friends from Uzbekistan on occasion of 29th anniversary of independence of Uzbekistan. All we desire for Uzbekistan is prosperity and happiness. Let me wish you all again a very happy Independence Day. My name is Ashok Daryani. I am President International Relations of the Sharda Group. Sharda Group is in healthcare, in education, in technology. These are the three areas where we are involved at present. And I have been associated with Sharda Group since 2007. I have traveled to more than 55 countries and over 100 cities all across the globe and represented Sharda University in all important international events and conferences, and established around more than 1,500 important education links for Sharda University and over 250 international tie-ups. At present, in our university, we have 12,000 plus students, and out of this, 2,000 are international students. Since 2009, students from 85 countries have experienced Sharda University, making Sharda University a truly global university and #1 private university in India in terms of international students, as per the Association of Indian University latest survey. Sharda University is a member of Sharda Group of Institutions with 4 campuses in India. It's one in Greater Noida, 2 in Agra, and 1 in Mathura. Total 167 acres of land and 3.5 million square feet of infrastructure. As a group, we have 22,000 plus students and around 47,000 plus students have passed out as an alumni. Recently, we have established our 5th campus in Uzbekistan, where I have been a key founder member in establishing Sharda University, Uzbekistan. This was established in October 2019 under a special presidential decree in line with Sharda Group's commitment to offer global standard education to every individual. Sharda University is a multidisciplinary university located in Delhi NCR. Sharda University is not for profit, multidisciplinary university recognized and approved by Government of India. And we have 250 programs and all are full-time programs. None of our program is an online program. And we have many faculties, including IT, engineering, business, medical science, dental science, pharmacy, law, arts, design, media, architecture, planning, allied health science, nursing, language school, language and culture school, education, and basic sciences. And in all these streams, you have bachelor's, master's, and PhD level. Furthermore, the university has its own state-of-art 900 plus bedded super specialty teaching medical hospital, which is known as Sharda Hospital and which is accredited by NABH, Government of India. Now let me introduce you Sharda University, Uzbekistan. The latest member of Sharda Group of Institutions is Sharda University, which is located in Andijan, Uzbekistan. It has been established under a special presidential decree, and it offers global education to every individual. Sharda University Uzbekistan is being envisioned to become the educational gateway for students from Eurasia. It is the first independent private university in Fergana Valley and is being positioned to become one of the leading centers of academic excellence, research, and innovation in Uzbekistan. It will have various disciplines, including engineering, management, medical. This is our future plan. including, at present we have engineering and management. We will have medical, dental, law, architecture, design, journalism, computer applications, basic science, nursing, biotechnology, food, pharmacy, physiotherapy, education, languages, animation, agriculture, visual arts, and stem cell and cancer biology in the near future. Sharda University, Uzbekistan also foresees itself to establish multiple centers of excellence in Uzbekistan to promote research and innovation for the benefit of entire region. Our plans for Uzbekistans are quite big and will not be only limited to Andijan. This is just a good beginning, and we have very high hopes with Uzbekistan in the areas of education and healthcare. All the programs are taught in English so that the students can pursue their career or higher learning across the globe. We are being an international university. We have all programs in English. The university will focus on building students' interpersonal skills through technical and cultural activities that will run throughout the year. Sharda University, Uzbekistan is the new bright reality. And our vision is that Sharda University is a truly global university, and our group vision is to set up the world-class education and healthcare facilities all across the globe. And now let me take you through our journey of Sharda University, Uzbekistan. This journey is one of the most interesting and satisfying experience of my life, thanks to the entire team involved from both the countries. The Uzbekistan project, it's like our dream come true. And to tell you honestly, before taking up this project, we have been trying to explore the international market for quite some time. And we have been traveling, negotiating, exploring the possibilities of setting up university, teaching medical hospital in various countries. To tell you honestly, the kind of treatment, if I can use this word with respect to the panelist speakers and attendees, the kind of treatment, the kind of assistance, and the kind of ease with which everything happened from start to finish was really a pleasant surprise for us. It all started in October 2018. I remember our first visit when myself and our honorable chairman of Sharda Group, Mr. P.K. Gupta, went to Uzbekistan while we were flying back from Ukraine. And though it was not a very planned visit, it was a very short visit of 2 days, but we met at least 5 or 6 government departments. Everything was arranged, coordinated within 2 days. It was amazing. And when we landed at the airport, there was a government official waiting with a car for us to be picked up. And we had a government coordinator with us always in our car to guide us. During that visit, we have very fruitful discussion with each and every department of our concern, that is education and healthcare. And it was the eagerness, the willingness, the hospitality, and the honesty which was shown in that visit was truly commendable. It was like falling in love at the first sight. It was really very encouraging. Another good thing was that everything was happening very fast, including strategic, operational, and administrative activities. Then there was a visit of Honorable President of Uzbekistan, Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev, in January 2019 with the high-powered officials. During that visit, I remember very well, to my surprise, in 3 days, there were 6 official visits, of course, coordinated by the embassy, to our university, discussing and exploring the possibility of setting up Sharda University in Uzbekistan, coordinated with Uzbek embassy. And that is when we signed a first general MOU, which was like intention to work the kind of agreement. We were really surprised with the response which we had visited, and after that the follow-ups, it was amazing. The 2 people which I will never forget, and I can proudly say that they are the founder members of our university. One is Professor Oktam, the first Deputy Education Minister, Uzbekistan. During that time, he was the rector of Andijan Machine Building Institute in Andijan. Without him, I don't think this project would have been possible. He was the one who was instrumental in getting out this presidential decree for the formation of Sharda University, Uzbekistan. He was coordinating with the government bodies and Sharda University. And the other is the late former Deputy Governor of Andijan, Mr. Solombeek. May his soul rest in peace. He is no more with us. He was the one together with Professor Uktam, facilitated and made everything very easy until the presidential decree was signed. And then we went to Uzbekistan. Also, I would like to mention the name of His Excellency, Mr. Farhad Arziv, former ambassador and current first deputy minister of Uzbekistan. Mr. Farhad was one of the key members who always welcomed us and made sure that we are connected to the right people and the right team in Uzbekistan. We will miss you, Your Excellency. I think this was a very good decision to go to Andijan because it is one of the most fast developing industrial place in Uzbekistan and in Fergana Valley. After the presidential decree was issued and when we reached Andijan, the Honorable Governor of Andijan, Mr. Shukrat Beg, he's like a magician. I would really honestly comment. He's like a magician, the person who always supported and made sure that every issue, big or small, is sorted out in the shortest possible time. His energy level, his commitment, passion to make Andijan the best possible location for investment is amazing. Indeed, the people from embassy and the government officials, they never kept us off the ground. They really followed up well and they made sure that every query is being answered. We were overwhelmed from the eagerness and the quick positive response always. So everything happened so fast. And this is all because of the vision of the president of the great country, His Excellency, Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev. As the investor, we never felt any issues till date. Our investment there seems to be quite safe and secure. Security-wise, Uzbekistan has absolutely no issues. The people of Uzbekistan are also very simple and very, very hospitable. There is a love for Indian people, and that's really very special. And still, they watch Bollywood movies. They know Raj Kapoor, Mithun Chakravarti, Shah Rukh, Amir, Salman Khan, and their favorite as a Bollywood stars. To my surprise, many people sang the old Hindi songs with quite ease. One of the most important thing I would mention here is that wherever we had any issues from any department, the government officials were always ready to help us out. We never had any issues in getting company licenses. It was a single window solutions. I remember after the presidential decree, when we visited Andijan and we visited His Excellency, the Honorable Governor, all the licenses, all the formalities were completed on the table. The people, the department heads, the concerned departments came to that office and they got all the documents required and the license were issued within 24 hours. It's really amazing. Whether it was Tashkent or it is Andijan, all the government department, the education department in Tashkent, the Honorable, the Minister of Education is amazing. You know, his response and his, in response to each and every issue was quite fast. There were various contractors involved in Honorable Governor of Andijan made sure that there was no issues in dealing with the local contractors. You know, when you go to some new country, there are new people, until unless you understand them, the way of working, the way of understanding. And to our surprise, there were many coordinators from the government side who were interacting between the contractors and with Shada team. And they made sure that no contractor behaved in any manner, which was difficult or, it's possible when you go to the country, they try to take the advantage, but this never happened with us. Each and every government department used to come us to daily and check if everything is going smooth. Any issues of the department themselves came to us and resolved things. We had never seen this kind of approach. This kind of facilities to investor is unbelievable. So it's very pleasant experience to be in Uzbekistan, and we are lucky to be there. Once the campus started its operation, we had to deal with infrastructure, including classes, equipments, labs, accommodation, etc. Again, under time pressures, as the academic year was close to start, if I remember. The authority in Uzbek brought us in touch with all the departments. They, coordinated to get the equipments, and everything was really rewarding. And everybody worked harmoniously with our team in Uzbekistan. And that was one of the reasons we started on time in October. I remember October 19th in 2019, and our university was inaugurated, luckily, by Honorable Chief Minister Mr. Rupani. He's a Chief Minister of Gujarat. And you will be pleased to know that one of the street in Andijan is in Uzbekistan is named as Sardar Patel Street. It's like a road which is renamed by the name of Sardar Patel Marg. What you feel when you are in Uzbekistan is the love for the Indian people, the love for, as per my experience, for the investor. The relationship of Uzbekistan and India is well known, and our honorable panelists have described that. And of course, we have been friends since long. Andijan is the birthplace of well-known Mughal Emperor Babur. Our plans for Uzbekistan are quite big in terms of education and healthcare. So we congratulate and we thank the people of Uzbekistan and His Excellency, the President. His vision and direction is the key to success of Uzbekistan. And God bless Uzbekistan and Indian relationship. We are in Uzbekistan, we feel the same kind of warmth, the same kind of love we feel in our family. So for us, Uzbekistan is just our extended family. Uzbekistan is like our second home. Taking this opportunity, I once again congratulate friendly people of Uzbekistan on the occasion of Independence Day of Uzbekistan. And at the same time, I wish all the best, all the good luck and success to His Excellency, our Honorable Ambassador of Uzbekistan in India, Mr. Dilshad Akhatov. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ashok Daryani. I'm so happy to listen to your very pleasant experience in Uzbekistan, the love of the people, hospitality and the efficiency, the honesty. I think these are the words which are really mesmerizing. And I'm sure the Indian businessmen will be attracted by all these pleasant experiences, and we will have closer and closer business relations with Uzbekistan, with whom we rejoice, and we have what we call civilizational ties going back to thousands of years back in time. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite Professor Sanjay Pandey from Jawaharlal Nehru University to make his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta. Thank you, Ambassador, His Excellency Ambassador Mr. Dilshad Akhatov. First of all, I would like to welcome you to India, to Delhi. You had a very illustrious predecessor who did so much to promote India-Uzbekistan ties. I'm very confident that you will take forward that tradition and you will do everything possible to further strengthen relations between our two very ancient civilizations and states. Now, in this respect, there is something common between India and Uzbekistan, the fact that we both are very ancient civilizations, but as modern nation states, our journey is relatively young, or relatively, India, 74 years of independence, Uzbekistan, 29 years of independence, post-Soviet existence. So, the advantage for me is that I had the privilege of listening to so many very informative lectures and talks. The disadvantage is that I have to think of something which has not been said. The ambassador, Mr. Dilshad Akhatov, started by highlighting the strategy of Uzbekistan 2017-2021, which basically aims at promoting development in 5 key areas of nation building, of judicial reforms, of society, economy, inter-ethnic relations, cultural development, and above all, foreign policy. So the ambassador, in a very comprehensive manner, told us how Uzbekistan has traveled over the last 29 years, and especially in the last 4 years after the adoption of 2021. Similarly, Mr. Sohan Das dealt with, in great detail, he talked about India-Uzbekistan ties, the political in great detail. Similarly, Ms. Rakhimova Jannat talked about the cultural, educational ties between the two countries and the new initiatives that have been taken in recent past. Dr. P.K. Gupta gave a very vivid description of the international and regional setting in which Uzbekistan is following a proactive foreign policy, especially with its neighbors, with its very positive initiatives in the neighborhood, also vis-a-vis Afghanistan, and for greater connectivity. Mr. Pravesh Gupta gave a detailed description of that. In the end, Mr. Ashok Daryani gave a very touching description of his personal experience in Uzbekistan, their hospitality, and their desire to promote any foreign venture in Andijan. For example, the new Sharda University that has been set up, which is a great initiative, and the type of welcome he received and the way the Uzbek government tried to facilitate the setting up of this university. So in different ways, all the previous speakers have dealt with in very sensitive and vivid manner the various aspects of developments that have taken place in Uzbekistan in the 29 years of its independence. Now what remains? I would try to say the ways in which Uzbekistan is unique and distinct in the world. First of all, as I said, its uniqueness lies in the fact that it's a very old civilization. We can almost say that the very birth of human civilization can be traced to Central Asia, and Uzbekistan is at the very heart of Central Asia. It is the fulcrum of its civilization, and it is the focal point of the old state systems that came up, and the empires, the great empires, for example, the Timurid Empire, that were formed in Eurasia, in Central Asia. So in this sense, Uzbekistan is unique. Of course, geographically, it is unique because it is among the two countries which are doubly landlocked. Apart from Uzbekistan, there is only one country in Europe, Liechtenstein, which is doubly landlocked. So this is another distinction that Uzbekistan has. Another distinction of Uzbekistan is that in the last 30 years, 29, 30 years of its existence in the post-Soviet era, Uzbekistan has come out with its own model of economic, political development. This model basically emphasizes on stability. It emphasizes on promoting political stability and promoting inter-ethnic harmony, promoting social solidarity. And Uzbekistan, despite being a very diverse country with more than nearly 100 or so nationalities, big and small, living and coexisting in perfect harmony. So this is another reason why we should try to understand Uzbek model of development, political development, and economic development. In the economic sphere and arena, Uzbekistan, during the first quarter century of its existence and development, from 1991 till 2016, when the first president, Mr. Islam Karimov, passed away. For the first 25 years, Uzbekistan followed a policy of gradual transition, gradual improvement, transformation of its polity and economy. A transformation from a communist command economy, state-regulated economy, to a relatively open economy. Transition from a one-party common state to a multi-party competitive system. So this transition during the first 25 years was implemented in a very well-thought manner and also in a gradual manner so that it does not disturb political stability or social harmony, inter-ethnic relations. So first quarter century was consolidation of Uzbek statehood, Uzbek nationhood, and its economy and foreign policy. In the last 4 years, Uzbekistan has been fortunate to have a reformist president in the person of Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev. Under him, Uzbekistan has launched a new reform program. So after 25 years of stabilization, of gradual reforms, now the time was ripe for launching more innovative and more drastic changes in Uzbekistan's polity, economy, and foreign policy. Most of these reforms have been discussed by my previous speakers, especially by Ambassador Mr. Dilshad Akhatov, who talked about the domestic changes that have been brought about, the judicial reforms that have been brought about, the reforms to strengthen the role of political parties, the reforms to strengthen the role of the parliament, the Oil Majlis, all that has been discussed. Also, there have been reforms in the economic sector, the greater opening of economy, the deregulation of Uzbek currency. All this has meant that Uzbek economy has become more competitive and the ease of doing business is greater in Uzbekistan. Similarly, Dr. Pravesh Gupta talked about the various initiatives that the new government, the new president, Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev, has brought about in improving Uzbekistan's relations, not just with its immediate neighbors. And there were difficulties. There were difficulties in Uzbekistan's relations with Kazakhstan, with Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, with all these countries, also with Turkmenistan. New initiatives have been taken. Greater connectivity has been established. There are mechanisms now through which the presidents and the foreign ministers and the trade ministers of the 5 countries of Central Asia are interacting regularly. The regional trade has increased more than 2 times. The flights between Uzbekistan and the neighboring countries have increased many a times. The border openings between Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan, for example, there are more than 6 border openings now. For a time, there were problems in the railway connection between Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. But in the last 3-4 years, all those hurdles, all those problems have been removed. And now the railway connection has been reinvigorated. So in this way, there is greater regional connectivity between Uzbekistan and its neighbors. Similarly, Uzbekistan has taken new initiative vis-a-vis with respect to Afghanistan also. And the Afghan foreign minister is likely to visit Uzbekistan very shortly. Uzbekistan has taken definitive measures to stabilize the situation and also for reconstruction of Afghanistan. For example, Kabul is getting electricity from Uzbekistan. The new railway connection about which Mr. Pravesh Gupta talked about, we know about it. So there are new initiatives. Mr. Pravesh Gupta initially, incidentally, mentioned the difficulties that Uzbekistan was facing previously with some of its otherwise very close civilizational partners like Turkey, for example. There were problems. But in recent times, the relations with Turkey have improved greatly. And in fact, there is a proposal to develop a free trade area between Uzbekistan and Turkey. And there is a technopark that is being established in the Tashkent region, in the Olmazar district of Tashkent region, Turkish technopark. And this technopark is likely to go a long way in improving production of vaccines and drugs, unmanned aerial vehicles, development of new technologies in the field of communication. So even with countries like Turkey, with whom there were problems, but there are deep historical and civilizational ties, Uzbekistan has taken new initiative to reinvigorate these ties. I won't take much time. I understand I missed my chance. So the whole point is that Uzbekistan in the last 29 years, and especially in the last 4 years, has taken definitive steps in order to improve its economy, in order to further liberalize its economy, in order to further open up its polity, creating greater scope for functioning of political parties, of civil society. There are various reasons for which we should know about the political experiments in Uzbekistan. For example, the reservation of seats for women. More than 30% of the seats in the parliament and other government bodies in the local assemblies also are reserved for women. Similarly, the importance that has been given to environment and the environmental movement, that has been given special position and special scope in the parliament, in Oli Majlis, and there is a party which especially is dedicated to issues relating to environment. So this is how Uzbekistan is making some innovations from which the world can learn. Even in these difficult times, in the COVID times, Uzbekistan is, for example, taking definitive steps to promote alternative energy, solar energy, for example. Only this month, there was an agreement in order to establish a 150 megawatt solar power plant, 100 or 150 megawatt solar power plant. Irrigation, there is a special university. I would like to highlight this because this is something which is important even for India, the irrigation university in Tashkent. I would like Mr. Ashok Daryani to pay attention to this. Irrigation and agriculture are areas in which Uzbekistan has its own unique experience. And I believe many other countries, including India, can learn from these experiences. Some of my previous speakers have spoken, including the ambassador, talked about the new National Coordination Committee, whose meeting was held on 24th of August 2020. So India-Uzbekistan ties are likely to improve further. I would like to wish the ambassador on the occasion of 29th anniversary of Uzbekistan's independence. I would like to wish everyone thank you very much for giving me this chance to speak. I have visited Uzbekistan many times, 7 or 8 times, at least 4 times as international observer during parliamentary and presidential elections. It was a wonderful experience. I can keep my personal experiences like Mr. Ashok Daryani. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Professor Sanjay Pandey. You have further given your testimony to the wonderful people of Uzbekistan who have showered their love and affection for you and for Indians as a whole. And I also thank you for giving an outline of the fundamental reforms initiated by the current president of Uzbekistan, and these reforms are going to have far-reaching impact in the region, particularly in Central Asia, with Afghanistan, with India, and other countries as well. So thank you very much for your presentation. Now I would like to invite Mr. Manish Mohan, Regional Director, International CII. He will make his presentation on opportunities for expanding trade relations between Uzbekistan and India. Mr. Mohan.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, everyone. His Excellency Mr. Dilshad Akhatov, Ambassador of Uzbekistan in India, distinguished panelists, friends from Uzbekistan and India. On behalf of Confederation of Indian Industry and on my personal behalf, I would like to thank Embassy of Uzbekistan for giving me this opportunity to speak and share my views on opportunities for expanding trade relations between India and Uzbekistan. I would also like to wish His Excellency and the people of Uzbekistan a very happy 29th Independence Day. Friends, India and Uzbekistan have been age-old friends and partners and bound by the caravans which traveled between the two countries for centuries. Both our countries have grown rapidly. They are expected to continue strongly on the high growth trajectory led by proactive and astute macroeconomic policies. Over the years, the two countries have built on their rich ancient connectivity to drive a new path of cooperation. Today, we are greatly encouraged by the strategic partnership and the vision as outlined by various joint declarations between the meetings of our head of states leaders held over the years. The recent high-level exchanges and agreement reached during the visits of Prime Minister Modi in July 2015 and the President of Uzbekistan to India in October 2018 and January 2019. The visit of Chief Minister of Gujarat in October 2019 has further strengthened our relationship. India has undertaken a comprehensive agenda of reforms, including in the areas of ease of doing business, attracting FDI, taxation, and others. We now seek to build our friendship with Uzbekistan for a holistic economic engagement. Currently, our bilateral trade is US $247 million, which is far below our potential. And our Indian exports to Uzbekistan is only $180 US, whereas the imports from Uzbekistan are 66.85 million in 2019 and 20. If you see Uzbekistan main exports to India, it consists of agriculture items, fresh fruits, vegetables, silk, cotton, chemical industry. And from India, if you see the pharmaceuticals, medicines, machinery, organic and chemical products, optical equipments, textile items, they are exported to Uzbekistan. Business environment in Uzbekistan, as pointed out by our earlier speakers also, it has witnessed a remarkable improvement over the past few years with the assuming of office by the President, Mr. Shaukat Mirziyoyev, who won the presidential election in December 2016. An impressive program of market-driven reforms aimed at liberalization of economy and according impetus for the growth of private and foreign investment was undertaken under the government's National Development Strategy 2017-2021. Uzbekistan is one of India's major partners in CIS region. It has the potential to become one of the most powerful economies in Central Asia. The country has abundance of natural resources. It is a diversified economy. If you see from 2004 to 2017, the annual GDP growth in Uzbekistan was on the average 7.9%, one of the highest rates in the world. And over the past decades, according to the Asian development estimates, the country's GDP will overstep $130 billion by 2035. So all this makes Uzbekistan a very interesting country. It also has a very well developed transport infrastructure. It is situated at the crossroad of large transport corridor. It has access to ready-made industrial infrastructure and SEZs. It's a home to a young, flexible, and well-educated workforce. In fact, if you see, in fact, the visas going to Uzbekistan also is not a troublesome exercise. You can get an electronic visa within no time. As far as the flight connections has been, there are direct flights from Bombay, from Delhi, from Amritsar. So it is also worth noting, as I was mentioned by Excellency earlier, that Uzbekistan entered the top 20 countries in the world that achieved the greatest results in improving the business environment. It is worth noting that Republic moved from 76th position to 69th position in Doing Business 2020 ranking among 190 countries. There are more than 150 enterprises with the participation of Indian capital that operate in Uzbekistan, including 59 joint ventures with 80% and 100% foreign capital. CIA has been in the forefront for fostering economic cooperation with Uzbekistan and has set up India-Uzbekistan Joint Business Council. The council has been set up with the objective of developing a roadmap for enhancing economic cooperation and partnership between our two countries at the business level. And the formation was announced at the joint statement issued during the visit of President Shaukat Mirziyoyev in October 2018. The agreement setting up this council was exchanged in the presence of President Shaukat Mirziyoyev and the Prime Minister Narendra Modi during his visit to New Delhi. CIA and the Chambers of Commerce Industry of Uzbekistan are the secretariat of this council from India and Uzbekistan. The first meeting of the council was organized on 17th January 2019 in Ahmedabad on the sidelines of the visit of President Shaukat Mirziyoyev during Vibrant Gujarat 2019. Mr. Rakesh Bharti Mittal, who is a past president of CIA, he chairs this council from India, and similarly Mr. Ikramov chairs it from Uzbekistan. CIA also works very closely with the AMBIT, Association of International Business and Technologies of Uzbekistan, with whom CIA has a MOU, and we have exchanged several business delegations and organized B2B meetings. To bridge the business information gap, CIA also came out with a report, Trade and Investment on Uzbekistan, that provides an overview on Uzbekistan economy in terms of its key fundamentals, highlight sectors that offer advantages for Indian exports and investments, and issues that needs to be addressed to facilitate bilateral trade and business. CI now envisions a range of sectors where we can mutually enhance bilateral economic cooperation. Uzbekistan is a field for big players because tremendous opportunities exist in terms of exploitation of hydrocarbon, mineral resources, as well as setting up of telecommunication network, building of hospitality industry, in particularly hotels and tourist resorts, joint venture in power engineering, gold mining, and jewelry production, non-ferrous metallurgy, opportunity in healthcare, and education sector. For example, Medanta, they have already tied up, in the healthcare sector in Uzbekistan. There is a huge opportunity, exists for cooperation between small and medium enterprises in the areas such as leather and leather accessories, processing of cotton yarn, silk garments, refrigeration, canning, packaging, development of hybrid seeds, and shipbuilding. The Indian renewable sector, our previous speaker also highlighted that Indian renewable energy sector is area of cooperation as India embarks on its ambitious solar and wind energy capacity targets. We may consider joint projects in both countries. Pharmaceutical already a major Indian export item to Uzbekistan. Indian companies are interested in investment for closer collaboration. Today, India is one of the world's largest manufacturers of generic drugs and exports across the world, besides setting up manufacturing and drug development facilities in many countries. In fact, Uzbekistan has got a special economic zone for pharmaceuticals only, and I think Andijan they are looking at in a big way. And there, Nawai and other special economic zones are also, there where Indian pharmaceutical industry is, in a big way, they have a presence. IT sector too offers a big investment potential for Indian companies, which can address the need for Uzbek companies for on-site locations. India is the largest exporter of software services in the world and can participate in the local contracts for IT and software services. In fact, you will be glad to know that we have our STPI, Software Technology Park of India, stationed there in Uzbekistan. And we are closely collaborating with them. And we have exchanged several business delegations, IT delegations from Uzbekistan. In fact, our previous speaker, Mr. Ashok Deryani, has already mentioned about the education sector. And Sharda and MIT both are there in Uzbekistan in a big way. So we are looking at education also in a big way. Apart from this, tourism is another big sector because Uzbekistan is full of places, touristic places, and in fact, and it is very, very kind of cost effective to as a tourist to go to Uzbekistan. So there are so many innumerable investment opportunities, and the list is long. The need of our is to establish the potent mechanism for stepping up our trade and collaboration. And in this time of COVID, collaborate with each other. Friends, we look forward to receiving continuous support and guidance. And also, our ambassadors are always guided us, our earlier ambassador and Mr. Feroz Arizev, who is now the first deputy foreign minister of Uzbekistan. And the current ambassador also has been very, very supportive of our initiatives. And we look forward to much more closer economic collaboration between our two countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manish Mohan, for your very versatile presentation. I think the trade volume is very low and we need to increase that, given the history of caravan routes. And the areas you have identified, education, medical, tourism, leather, silk, textile, IT, solar energy, are definitely worth looking at. I'm sure the business people are listening to your words and they will explore all these opportunities in the near future. So thank you very much for your very, very informative presentation. Now we will start with the cultural program. The first one is from Uzbekistan. It comes from a famous family band Havas. And we will witness this wonderful cultural performance, and then it will be followed by a performance from India, from the Assam branch of Tillotoma Foundation. So let us enjoy the cultural side of our bilateral ties. So may I request the organizers to put up the cultural program, please?
Tazim et ey paylaringe Madhinni küley vatan sensan quyoshim Qo'llarim ko'ksimdadir Tazim et ey paylaringe Madhinni küley vatan sensan quyoshim Mehribonimsan o'zing Boshlarimni silagan Qalqonimsan sen o'zing o'zbegim Sen onamsan, o'zbegim Buyugim sen, otamsan, o'zbegim Ta'rifing ibratlarga kon Ulug' daholarga o'zingsan makon Bizlarga bag'rin ochar, olamga ziyo sochar. Bu el shunday azaldan savob deb yashar. Ajdodim ne'zozlagan, avlodlarin o'ylagan, vatanin jondan sevib kuylagan. O'zbegim, suyugim sen, onamsan. O'zbegim, buyugim sen, otamsan. O'zbegim, ta'rifing ibratlarga kon, ulug' daholarga o'zing sen makon. Dardlariga darmonlar bo'lgan, o'zini ham unutib zahmatga ko'ngan. Buyukdir osmon qadar xokisor bo'lgan. O'zbegim qalbi go'zal, imonga to'lgan. Jannat makon, yurtim go'zal, senla o'zbegim. Onamdirsan, otamdirsan, vatandirsan o'zbegim. O'zbegim, suyugim sen, onamsan. O'zbegim, buyugim sen, otamsan. O'zbegim, ta'rifing ibratlarga kon, ulug' daholarga o'zing sen makon. O'zbegim, suyugim sen, onamsan. O'zbegim, buyugim sen, otamsan. O'zbegim, ta'rifing ibratlarga kon, ulug' daholarga o'zing sen makon. O'zbegim, suyugim sen, onamsan. O'zbegim, buyugim sen, otamsan. O'zbegim, ta'rifing ibratlarga kon, ulug' daholarga o'zing sen makon. Daholarga o'zing sen makon. Ko'z tegmasin jon O'zbekiston. सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह है अल्लाह, सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह। दम दम दिखा दिखा मौसम भीगा भीगा, बिपिए में तो गिरा मैं तो गिरा मैं तो गिरा है अल्लाह। सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह है अल्लाह, सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह। अदा वाह वाह क्या बात है, हाय तेरी अदा, अरे तेरी अदा वाह वाह क्या बात है। अखियां झुकी झुकी बातें रुकी रुकी, अखियां झुकी झुकी बातें रुकी रुकी, देखो कोई रे आज लुट गया। हाय अल्लाह सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह, हाय अल्लाह सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह। दम दम दिखा दिखा मौसम भीगा भीगा, बीपीए में तो गिरा, मैं तो गिरा, मैं तो गिरा। हाय अल्लाह सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह, हाय अल्लाह सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह। सनम हम माना गरीब है, हाय सनम हम, अजी सनम हम माना गरीब है। नसीबा खोत सही बंदा छोटा सही, नसीबा खोत सही बंदा छोटा सही, दिल ये खजाना है प्यार का। हाय अल्लाह सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह, हाय अल्लाह सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह। दम दम भीगा भीगा मौसम भीगा भीगा, बीपीए में तो गिरा, मैं तो गिरा, मैं तो गिरा। हाय अल्लाह सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह, हाय अल्लाह सूरत आपकी सुभान अल्लाह।
I think we have finished the first performance. We are done with it.
Yeah, so now we can have cultural performance from India. That is the Assam branch of Tillotoma Foundation. And they will present a very wonderful program now. And we listened to the wonderful program from Uzbekistan. I was very much impressed. The Uzbek singer who was singing Bollywood song, it was very, very impressive and very nice.
I think we can acknowledge, I think the Assam branch has been started by, of course, by us, and it is ably led by the coordinator in charge, Ms. Priya Kumari. And this traditional cultural performance has been choreographed by noted Assamese artist Shailen Gogoi. So we will watch the performance now.
So after this wonderful performances from the two sides, we would like to invite the representative of the Uzbek embassy in Delhi to make his, closing remarks.
Thank you. Distinguished panelists, dear participants, dear friends, we discussed today very deeply in details the current development and perspectives of Uzbekistan, as well as Uzbek-Indian relations. I would like to express my strong confidence that organization of such events will give new ideas and concepts for further development of mutually beneficial cooperation between our countries, as well as to find mechanisms for the joint survival of mankind in the face of global problems. That's why I once again I would like to thank to Tillotoma Foundation, especially to Dr. Das and Ms. Paulomi for organizing such an important event on the eve of most important day of Uzbekistan, Independence Day. I would like to convey my gratitude to all distinguished speakers, panelists, for their valuable thoughts and remarks on this event, for interesting and useful remarks, very useful for me personally as well as, and special thanks to you, Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta, for moderating, for very nice, very superb managing of our event. Thank you very much. And of course, to our groups, cultural groups, concert groups, to the family band Hawas and Assam branch of Tillotoma Foundation for unmatched cultural performance. Thank you very much for all participants for the participation in this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Excellency. You have been very kind, and I would like to wish you a very successful, very productive, and very pleasant stay in India. I'm sure you will build upon the structures already built between our two countries and make it a wonderful edifice between India and Uzbekistan. Thank you very much for your presence, for your contribution, and for support of your embassy in making this event a success. And now I would like to invite Tillotoma Foundation, Mr. Sohan Das, for making his concluding remarks on this event.
Thank you, Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta, Distinguished Advisor to Tillotoma Foundation, for efficiently managing the entire event and for giving me the opportunity to deliver the vote of thanks. I must sincerely thank the Embassy of Uzbekistan for their strong cooperation and support at every stage. His Excellency, the Ambassador of Uzbekistan to India, Mr. Dilshad Akhatov, has been a great patron of this event. We look forward to taking further our cooperation. I must also thank all the distinguished speakers who spoke today. They highlighted various aspects of the cooperation and the development and the growth of the Republic of Uzbekistan. We heard practical experiences, academic insights, as well as information from the industry. I must also sincerely acknowledge the amazing cultural performances of Havas Guruhi from Uzbekistan and the Assam branch of Tillotoma Foundation. Let me also thank, on behalf of Tillotoma Foundation, all the distinguished audience members who are present here with us today. May the bond between India and Uzbekistan grow stronger than ever. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Sohan Das. You have always been very dynamic. I must say that you are an example of dynamism. the Tillotoma Foundation is doing wonderful job. You have brought together the Embassy of Uzbekistan and very distinguished speakers on this platform, and as well as the two wonderful cultural performances. I think this is tribute to your foundation and your dynamism. So I would like to thank you once again and thank all the speakers who contributed enormously to the success of this event, and again to His Excellency Ambassador Tillotoma Akhatov for his contribution to make this event a successful event.
Thank you.
Let me thank you once again and congratulate you once again on your 29th anniversary of independence. I wish you and all the people of Uzbekistan a wonderful future in the coming years, despite all the problems we are facing. I'm sure with the dynamism you are displaying in your activities, all that will be possible. So thank you very much. Thank you for all the, thanks to you, to all of you for your participation, for your contribution, and good evening.
I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.